Educational videos back. All right, we're gonna play 10 minutes. Explaining the moves as I go along. Should be educational for all of you, whether you're a beginner, starting out the game from yesterday, or all the way trying to improve. This video should be for you. I mean, all the way to experts, masters, even, but not beyond that. Who knows? Beyond that will be something else. But we are trying to do educational videos so people could learn. So the idea is actually I play the moves in 10-0. If you do 30 minutes, it's going to be more quality chess, but actually not many players. And also I got into trouble, like when I explain my moves, I'm trying to move faster now. I try, but I try to make slower moves so I could explain my moves as I go along, the plans, the opening ideas. So we cannot find somebody easy. I'm doing -50. I mean, 10-0, it's good time control to explain the moves. The only drawback is potential cheaters, to be honest. I mean, I played Rapid online, and the only issue is people potentially cheating because more time control, the longer time control, the chances people take their time to check the moves out. They may not even cheating in all moves. It could be like selection of positions. That's the only drawback. Unfortunately, that seems to be the issue when you play the faster time control when you play faster time control, bullet, blitz, no increment, harder for a cheater to find moves because chances are they might actually flag. I mean, I've seen this happen. And also, when you give more time for people to cheat, but also, I mean, there's also another argument to be made is actually the more I play cheaters when they, in Rapid, the more I could report them. I actually do report players, even if I feel like they may be 50-50, I still report it. So chess.com would have they would review the games. Sometimes chess.com do not have like clue if somebody's cheating, especially when it comes to Rapid. I mean, I've seen, I played a lot of people in Rapid before, and sometimes you don't get caught cheating right away. It could be like several months before they get, caught cheating. We could try -100. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we have somebody. Usually I check if somebody's new, if somebody's older. With older account, chances are they are okay. Newer account could be a problem because it could be somebody who might be cheating. Newer account does not automatically flag somebody for cheating. It could be a dupe of account, somebody who's really strong. Maybe he's applying for his title and it takes a couple days to update. There are options like this. Knight of 3 is common, so c6, d6 are the modern setup. We could play d5, c3. You could play e5 takes. We could play f6 takes. So this line is interesting. Usually the rook gets activated on f8. I mean, it's playable. I mean, it's good. I mean, I believe it's good enough because technically this could be annoying. I mean, if I ever get to play bishop g4 and you're attacking f3, and there's also potential e5 in some lines. We could even try this. So let's say bishop takes, queen takes, so knight e4. You could see the rook will be attacking. If we get to play, if he gets to stick with a pawn, which is, kind of, it could be a problem, because that's going to ruin his pawn structure and the king activity. So this is a pretty good move. I take knight takes, knight e4 is possible. There's knight e7. We could try this and e5, to be honest. I mean, he could still try this. I guess we could take... Could we still try this? Also knight e4. We could try knight e4 and see what happens. I mean, maybe I missed queen b3. We'll see. He may take a queen b3 check in between moves. Usually you have to play king h8 at some point because this diagonal could be a problem. Sometimes. So this one is interesting. He's meeting this one. Wait, hold on. Can I just take here? That's actually a good question to ask. So the idea is here, knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes g5. I'm assuming it's bishop takes, which is funny. It's funny indeed. You may have to go back with the rook. If you play here, he's looking at knight e6, queen e6. I mean, I was considering knight takes here, e5, but it's knight e6. But maybe we could try rook takes, bishop takes, rook f7 maybe, and then he moved his bishop somewhere, bishop here. We could then consider bishop f6, and then it's some kind of e5. If he takes, we could take. We'll give it a try. The real question is, could you try this? Oh, this is possible? That's crazy. We could try rook takes f2. All right, let's give it a try. I mean, if he takes here, rook takes f2. I mean, he may have worked it out. Maybe he could still do this. The problem is if here takes, his queen takes f3, that feels like he could be winning. Or even pawn takes, actually. So here, pawn takes, because I cannot move my knight away because of the pin on the queen. So, I mean, if he plays here, it gets a lot easier. But I'm actually concerned that he might be looking at bishop takes. That's how strong he is. And again, who knows who I'm playing. So maybe bishop here, knight takes, just on time. The real question is, could he move his queen? I don't think that's... Because now I could take on here. That's actually the issue. Even after here, I could just move my rook, and then there's still a pin on the... So maybe this is okay. I mean, here, rook takes. If he takes here, we could take here. Yeah, this makes sense. So now, why not go back here all the way? So usually you need to be careful, like not going to the original square, which you can. I mean, the rook belongs here, but the issue here, maybe I want to play e5 myself. And there's bishop sitting here. So maybe I want to play like here and here. Should he trade? There must be some rook e7 pins. I may want to have the rook on e7 right away, so I could easily double up the rooks. This is actually the reason why. So this rook f7 also attacking here. So kind of like if he went back here, bishop here. If he kind of ignores it, let's say he plays bishop f4, then we could strike with e5. Takes everything. Then this rook e7. Eventually win the queen if he's not careful. So we play here. He could also play bishop here, which he bishop here. Oh, I was able to play here. Here first. So this seems to be a key move. Even after bishop h6, we could actually play e5. So e5 is necessary. I mean, I actually feel like bishop h6 is maybe not the optimal move because I could actually trade and some, like I could even trade right now. I could take trade, and then rook f8, potential putting some pressure, e4. There's a lot of good ideas here. I suppose here takes e4, f2 might be weakness. It's tough. It's hard to say. Maybe we could do it this way, fast enough. We could also play rook f8 right now after taking on g5 with check. So it's takes, king b1. We could also play rook f8 with the idea if he takes on e5, we just stick with the rook. And we could take back on e5. I could show you guys when I get closer here. So king b1, the idea is here. If he takes here, rook takes. We attack the queen, let's say he plays here. I could also play knight takes e5, but we took the pawn at f2. The issue, maybe the reason I might be playing e4, because if he play rook f here, he might play f3. We could still play e4. We could play some active game. Could still play e4 takes, rook f2. I mean, this is easy. Should he play here? That can we take and then... All right, let's try it. I mean, that's the reason why I put the rook at f7. You know, if the rook was on f8, then things would be a little bit different. So he plays f3. Rook rook f2. I mean, I'm still committed to play this. If he takes rook f2, I have to watch out for things like this, though. I mean, things like this could be annoying. So if he takes, it's rook f2. The real suspense is actually, what if he plays queen d3 here? I mean, could he still take? If there's rook f3, the other rook gets involved. It's going to be hard to defend. So maybe here it's rook f2. He may play queen g4, which is actually a spicy move. He may feel like we could trade in his own terms. Okay, so this feels like a little bit weakness. I mean, it's not weakness, but it's actually looks like it's... I mean, first of all, I could do this. Takes, knight takes. Is knight d2? I mean, I'm actually considering knight h5. I'm going deeper with the plan. He takes, knight takes, rook takes, knight d2. Here, rook takes... How strong is this plan? Rook d2 again. Let's simply take here. Rook takes. This concerns. There's actually e3, f4. This is more appealing. All right, let's play this. It's probably not a good idea, but yeah. I'm kind of concerned about the speed that he's moving, g3. Yeah, play here. I feel like he misplayed this. I think g4 is like questionable. Yeah, this move is questionable. Now, how could I optimize my position? I mean, I feel like now, do I play here? He might play here, but I might try to get my knight at f8 and e6. He's looking at rook g4. Misplayed this heavily, I think. All right, here. I'm trying to get knight g6. I mean, knight f4. I mean, here knight f4. He doesn't have time for this because I could take. So the whole goal is to get to knight f4 is pretty good. I mean, if it's, you know, right now it's also attacking here. So this is actually the tough situation. I don't know. I misplayed this somehow, but we both did. But if he goes here, knight f4. It's a good square for the knight because the knight would be attacking the queen and e2 might be coming. So here is actually interesting. I actually don't like it, but it might be... I mean, queen takes, he just move out of the way and rook takes h5 next move. So he may be okay, but what I think he missed is actually pawn takes. Then we could put a freeze on this kind of stuff. I'm still up a pawn, queen f5, queen takes here. I don't even need to take here, but this is gonna still be a concern, like e3. You could slow play this position. Like, you know, optimize your position. I remember playing something similar like this in OTB tournament, like very, very close to this. Like I had like a pawn, it very similar. What I did is very unusual. Like I remember getting my king to e8 because there was some weird stuff on the king side. It was more interesting to get the king on b8, the e8, and then I slowly went for the pawns, like taking the pawns. We could check. I mean, he might be looking at some kind of f4 and we could take here. How interesting this is. I suppose f4 is coming. All right, let's take. I'm confident. This is still good for black. Yeah, I see. Yeah, we just go back, and if I have to play passively, I may play like here. But this is still pass pawns. We could also try to attack. Gave him queen e6 for no reason, maybe, but... There's also rook f. Yeah, it takes. 1 minute left, so I have to speed up. I mean, up to pawns. This has to be winning all across, but let's need to have the right idea. So c5 might be the right ideas. By the time he takes here, I'm not gonna take though. c4, and then we could start to find a way to attack. Well, first of all, we could try this first. So he moved away because he was attacking here. Then maybe here. Okay, you could take on d5. Oh, I missed queen f5. I could have played queen f5 myself. Queen f5 now. Attack here, and then queen d3 is actually what I'm trying to do. This should be good enough. He doesn't have time for this. Takes, rook f2. Should be winning. He has to trade or something, the king on e2. All right, we could give a rematch. New game. All right, new game. One more, folks. One more. This guy, 2016. He's fine. He's fine. e4. All right, so we could play here. All right, so I've been looking at some lines here. Like I mean, f4 is one way I play now, but there's also d4 that I'm trying to play. I'm not sure. I haven't played it. Yeah, Magnus Sicilian, it tells me. Queen d2, b3, bishop b2. It's fun, though. Do they play b3 now? Was it queen d2 on b3? I don't remember. Queen d2, f3, b2, bishop b2. Something crazy like this, but it's actually not crazy. It feels like it's interesting. Yeah, so bishop e7, you could castle. I could actually castle long, and we should have fun. Yeah, do you play b5? Maybe that could be a problem. King b1, so maybe d6 could become a concern. I mean, maybe we could attack both sides. b5 is still an issue, though. He plays queen c7. It feels a little bit interesting. He's getting out of the way, though, so maybe that's... And then b5. Bishop d3, b5. All right, let's play here, defending here. b5, b4. Bishop b7 is coming. I mean, we could play g4. The idea is here, rook here, we could connect. This may be what this line could be all about. Like, you know, bishop on b2 could become a problem. like attacking on g7. So this is fine, maybe. I mean, maybe it's fine. Should he takes here, we open up lines. I mean, you're actually castling kingside, so I mean, usually when you castle kingside and somebody's castling queenside, you attack both sides. So me, I attack on the king side, he's attacking on the queen side. So he actually ignores the move, which is interesting. We could still find a way to attack, like h. So this is met by still rook here. I'm actually interesting if h5 is actually a move. Like you could take and claim that, you know, I could take the pawn on h5, the knight would be okay. I may not move the knight away from g4. I mean, maybe knight takes on h5, which may be tricky. And then we follow up with rook g1. I mean, you could go back, but this still looks really like queen h6 is a possible pin and bishop on hitting on g, you know, directly on g2 and g7. It could be a problem. So h4 is nice. This is maybe a fun line though. I actually kind of like it. I mean, I haven't played enough games at all. Like I've been looking it over, and I feel like it's potential. I mean, you know, it's still playable and it takes a lot of away from this theory. There must be some theory here, though, but it takes a lot of the major theory that, you know, in the Sicilian. So h4, see what happens. He's probably concerned about the attack. He might be looking at here that maybe, I mean, maybe here, though. Passive, but maybe defense. You always need to look for ways for your opponent to defend. I mean, you just need to be careful not just moving up one. He took, and I think the idea is clear that if I play here, he wants to play h5. Now, I may have to try to trick him, so we play h5 here. I mean, this is maybe an idea. He wants to hit on f2, but I don't think I mind this. I'm looking for an attack. So h5 is a tricky move because now I'm actually avoiding him to play h5 himself. He plays here, which is interesting. There's a reason to believe that here is politics, but this is still very tough. I could still play like here. If you not win, I mean, I think I should take. Then rook g1. He wants to play knight f3. Welcome to tactics. He could play knight f3. There's some weird knight d. There might be knight d5 tactics. And then you're opening up here. Oh, there must be check. I have to be careful with the check. Maybe we could do this. We could even do queen f3, queen h6, queen h6. This is a tough move to make anyway. I mean, I don't know if this is the best move. I mean, I wish my king was on e1, because if that's the case, we could just play all moves possible without worrying about knight takes d2. Maybe I'm just hitting on g7 right away. Like here, and check. I mean, assuming after knight f3, this whole thing comes into active, because the knight would open up for the bishop, and it's hard to say what he could do. I mean, could he just stake here and claim that everything? I think here maybe it's potential, because if I were to play knight d5. Yeah, he could still play knight d5 though. Maybe he could simply... He cannot really take this rook takes g7. That's actually the issue. So maybe even after here, knight d5, knight takes b2, knight takes queen. Yeah, that's kind of tough. He's also concerned that I could play f4. I mean, I could still open up the line somehow, or I could win a piece. His concern is like maybe I could play even f4, or I could play queen h6. I could, you know, open up the line somehow to connect this bishop to a potential attack on g7. So this also, like, if it's white to move, I could still consider this move. Yeah, I don't blame him for sinking, to be honest. This is not an easy position at all. Maybe it's already lost. I mean, maybe bishop f6 to cover this diagonal. Maybe that's the way to play. But even then, it's still maybe f4 and something like Knight f3. Oh, maybe this is bishop f6 could be interesting, because he's still hitting the queen with check. That's actually the big issue for me. I mean, if the king wasn't here and he plays bishop f6, f4, knight f3, I could just simply play anything, including like queen g2 even. Maybe it's not enough, though. Maybe he still have some ways to defend. So bishop f6 looks like the right way. Maybe he's concerned about queen over, because this may allow like so this tactic is really huge. Queen here. The problem maybe it's like knight here. We just take. Maybe he could take on g1. He plays f6. This feels. f6. I mean, I don't think this defense. I think bishop f6 was the worst of a try. So first of all, here he might be looking at rook here. This is maybe what he's trying to claim that he could defend. For now. So what if h6 he just plays here? He's defending all across. Bishop b2, b4. This is gonna help me out. 92. Knight f3. It's actually 92 as well. Knight f3, maybe. All right, let's play bishop e2. So we're avoiding this, but we're trying to open up lines like f4. He may play b4, and I'm not sure if he's gonna do this move. Do I still move with that knight? Yeah, this is the only way to play, I guess. Good move, I guess. Is this possible? All right, let's dance. I mean, you could do this, maybe rook h4. I mean, maybe f5. I have to be concerned about what is going on now. This potential of moving away this queen here, though, I have to be really cautious about this whole thing. If you go here, for example, it's like here and then queen checkmate, for example. Queen b1 mate. I'm not convinced about my moves anymore, I guess. Here, f5. It could take, though. Or takes. All right, let's throw it. Let's do it. I mean, I have to like push. I'm assuming here. Takes, move away, and then we try to get the bishop connected somehow, but maybe queen h6 in between moves. I just need the bishop to get out of e4 in some ways, in some form. because this move is pretty annoying in some perspective. I mean, at the cost of exchange is fine, because we could also continue the attack in some ways. It's just fun game though. Actually, like, it's a very fun game. Even win or lose, it's a learning experience. I mean, if he played passively, I mean, you could say, well, can't he just move like this? It could be a problem, maybe, because now I could slowly improve my position, like something like maybe here, and then Rook gets to G3, and we're still getting away against G3, and then the knight could start jumping. So we played knight D1, but the knight is not sitting there for the longest time. The knight is going to E3 at some point. That's the point of the knight D1. I mean, I allowed B4, but just to get my knight to E3 at some point, and may allow some big jumps like knight C4, bishop C4. But I have to be careful because this feels like he could still, this center here is controlled by him. This is actually the reason he's up. He's also up with the pawn, so good amount of pawns too, but I'm looking for an attack here. There's also the time factor here, which is actually, it's sad news. I wish he had more time, to be honest. I mean, this position is you not really... I mean, this is like almost blitz bullet kind of thing, and in a position like this is a mess. So he plays this move, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. He wants to trade somehow. This is one reason why I wanted this is a way. But I could play knight e3. Maybe I'm missing something obvious here. Knight e3. We stopping him. Bishop takes. We could take with the knight. What is the idea? If he takes, I take here. The knight gets in a better square. I believe I could play knight e3. I don't want to be defending this. I mean, let's say I take here. He's looking at queen takes. Here, and then he may just feel like it's... you could even take on d1. I have to play knight e3. The real suspense is this is a move. I don't think it's a way to play. I simply could even take, rook here, getting the original idea. But the knight is also stopping c2, which is pretty cool, defending on c2. Again, 1 minute and 30 seconds. So he plays here. I'm still not convinced. Supposedly here. We're attacking here, by the way, which is a tempo against bishop. So now we go here. This is really a good attack. He plays here. I could see. Do we have knight g4? Oh, he's still hitting here at fully. h6 here. We need to get out of here so he doesn't have check. Then start looking at some knight moves like knight g4. Knight g4, knight h6. Big moves now. Knight h6. Okay, so that's funny though. I have h6. I was planning here or here, so h6. We have here. Everything is protected here, which is crazy by him. Queen d4. I mean, queen d4 is bishop c5. That's as crazy as it gets. Queen takes c2 next. That's trouble though. All right, we go back defending. That's terrible, actually. I mean, knight g4. He wants to play here knight g4 again, maybe? There's rook f8. Rook f1, excuse me. That's great. That's great. Great news. We need two. I mean, now we have to face this. We could take a knight e5. This is still interesting. We could even do it this way. I don't have to take, though. I go here. You could take. Here, there's some mating ideas, which is nice. Oh, rook here. I had to play e4. He takes rook c3, maybe. Rook c3 mating idea. This game is taking a huge shift in the wrong direction. Okay, maybe rook c1. It's still hard to play, like even in bullet chess. Knight here, some tricks. Knight g4 even. He's stopping, I mean, he's stopping everything, which is crazy. He takes c3. Could offer him a draw, but I'm trying to be nice. And he doesn't want to take it. All right, that's fine. It's probably a draw, actually, anyway. It's a draw now, officially. Draw. Good game, though. Good game. I just want to see if I have some major activity or combo. Yeah, here he's winning. I actually feel like here he was winning, unfortunately. Here he was able to find ways to defend. Yeah, here's the issue. I had to play knight e2. It tells me knight e2 is the only way to play. I mean, I could still play f4. F4, but black is slightly better. Knight f3, and you're still looking at this kind of stuff, which is crazy. Queen g2, and then you take the knight, I suppose. Or yeah, you take the knight. This is maybe it's slightly better for black, which is interesting. He's still looking for... I mean, maybe here there's some compensation, but I would assume that, you know, black still comes on top. I'm running out of like pieces here, even though I'm still actively looking at this, like the bishop here and the bishop here. It still feels like it could defend. The only way to actively play here, I'm just looking back, maybe have like interesting play. I just want to double check here. So once he takes here, it tells me I had to play here, rook dg1. And even after h5, you're supposed to play knight e2. Now, this idea I saw in the game, but I actually did not consider. I felt like h5 is a good defense for him, like maybe bishop f6. I mean, apparently here, knight e2, you're looking at some kind of knight f4, knight g3, you connect the bishop on here. I mean, for example, here, it's lousy. This is winning. Like something like, I mean, you cannot really do this. You're looking at mate. This is mate idea, queen g5. Here, e5. That's how strong this position is once you connect everything together. Rook g1. That's a mate. And if he takes with F, G takes, which is just as troubling, Queen H6. And then eventually here, or even knight here, knight takes. This has to be winning, knight E7, and then rook takes G4 even, and knight G5. This is even much cleaner. The idea is here, and then you're looking at potential mate. I mean, I did not. I knew the attack is good, but I underestimated that. I overestimated that maybe H5 may be defending. But knight E2 is just very good, and he has to play precisely like Queen E5, and then it, bishop C3, B4. It wants me to play here, D5, and then eventually, you're trying to get to the other side of the board slowly. You don't have to rush it. So this has to be winning anyway for white with the right play. Unfortunately, my way, it's a bit slower. Like, white's still better, but it's not like before. It wants me to take, and then... oh, it wants me to play F4 here as well. So F4 is necessary here. All this, like, connecting the bishop here. So, that, let's say here... eventually, this diagonal is going to be strong, b4, and something like knight e2. Now you get your bishop activated on, b2 is really attacking on g7. All you have to do is get piling your pieces on the g5. I mean, here it tells me it's equal somehow. Like, I don't know if I would like to play this for black even after f5. I mean, I would, usually the attack could be overwhelming here, even after here. Supposedly, you could play like this, and still white slightly still active here. I mean, let's say we continue, just to give a line. I mean, this is the position that white would, try to sneak in and win as much as possible. You have to be really good with black to defend. You could, but that's going to take more precise play for black. I mean, going forward here, honestly, it's bishop e2 that seems to be a problem because of b4. I actually saw b4 during the game, right? And I did not like this because black gets way too activity after bishop e4. And way too activity here. And, I mean, it tells me I have to play here. That's how things are playing out. So that it gives him like two strong defense moves where knight e2... it does not allow b4 in the first place. By the way, you don't have this. I mean, this may feel like it's interesting move, but you have that. Even here, like here, and even after rook f7, you do have like a strong e5. And that actually maybe missed opportunity because this all connect to f6. They all feel like there's also queen h7. The problem is queen takes h7, queen h8, mate. And you cannot really defend this position if you think you can. Good luck. The knight would join the party. Like, I mean, now the knight gets into the position as well. So the knight, the bishop, two bishop, the rook, the queen. That's tough to play. So he has to play precisely here, like rook f7 as originally he intended to play this, and then you do not play knight d4. Why this is good for white, or why this is an improvement for white per se. The knight was sitting on c3 anyway. I actually was considering knight e2, right? I mean, I said knight e2 is one of the moves. I had to like look deeper, but this is still fast time control. I mean, we need like 15-20 minutes here in this position to find the right plans. If it's not more, like 20 minutes. The reason I'm saying this because you could look over the opportunities. So the knight was gonna get kicked on b4 anyway, in some lines. The knight is sitting on c3. It's not doing anything. It's not like really targeting anything. So what you need to do is to get your knight in a better square. And once you move the knight, it's justifying that the bishop is actually looking at this diagonal. So you have to think about it this way. Moving the knight makes sense because we get kicked by v4 anyway, and also we're connecting by, the bishop on b2 to, potential attack. We're also looking at putting the knight in a better square, and this whole thing comes to like knight e2. Just to give some lines out, knight e2, and, let's say rook f7, just like exactly the, knight d4. So this is much better than the knight sitting on c3. We played 3 moves here, and even though the computer feels like this is still, like, black still, could find a way to defend, but this is much better than having the knight sitting on c3. So it's all about like optimizing your pieces, like how you put in pieces in better squares. So your bishop on b2 is already good. The rook is already on g1. It's good. The queen maybe is also good on d2 because it's looking at, potential queen h6 in some lines. The bishop is still okay, d3. At some point, he played e5, so that's like you guys saw. So the only thing was missing for white is actually getting this knight on c3 to join the party. And, this is one line. Even here, I think it believes it wants me to play f4. I mean, here it's also f4. And also, you still get the knight involved to knight e2, or you open up lines. I mean, this is actually one line we looked at, b4, and this is actually knight e2. And this is much stronger version than the game, because the knight would get into more active square, and then the rook's gonna join the party, and this is... So even if he has the two bishops here, I cannot stress enough that two bishops in some positions doesn't mean anything. I mean, black has the two bishops here, but I would rather be white. The potential attack is huge. White is probably solid enough here in this position currently. Even though his bishop is really looking at this diagonal, I still like the attacking opportunity for black. Excuse me, for white. The opportunity for the attack here for white is huge. This diagonal is more than enough to justifying the potential, because this is lining up against the king. It's not lining up like this, the same as bishop b7 lining up against, h1 or something. This is lining up against the king. This scope is really high. It's really strong, really high, really strong. So it's just justifying that f5. I mean, it wants me to play f5 so you could, and even then you could just play actively. It's one strong way, one good reason why this diagonal is much stronger than this one. In this position, white is still having some ways to try to find a way to play on. But it's good game, though. We drew. We found a way to draw the game. I still stayed competitive due to the time that he was spending. Good games, good games. More educational stuff coming in. We're gonna keep going. We're not gonna stop anytime soon. We're just gonna take off, right? We take off with improvements, splitting the ideas. Tell your friends about me. Tell your families about me. Tell everybody you know. I mean, this is educational. It's not so much me playing, you just watching. There are times I will be playing. There's no explanation depending on what kind of event I'm doing. If I'm playing blitz games, it's hard to explain all the moves, maybe some moves, but not entirely. I stay competitive. The rating's something with the rating that I'm trying to improve as well. Like my blitz rating, I'm trying to get to 27, 2800 online. To be honest, having a high rating online does not mean anything. It could be 3000. I could try to aim for 3000 even. It's a goal. But it doesn't make you necessarily a better player. What makes you a better player is actually your overall understanding of the game. You play, classical format, classical tournaments where you compete against stronger players. You're working on your game. And that's where the improvement comes this way. But online, I still feel online is more entertaining most of the time. It's also instructive, just like I'm doing some instructive videos. So hopefully that pays off for you guys, and stay tuned for more videos. Take care, folks. See you soon.